Have you ever considered the relevance of ancient prophecies to our modern world? It's a question that might seem distant, even irrelevant to some. But today, we're pumped to get into a fascinating exploration of just that. The prophecies of the end times as foretold in the Bible. We'll examine their eerie reflections in our present era, from nations rising against nations to drastic societal shifts, and even the arrival of technological advancements like digital currencies and AI. Stick around, you won't be disappointed, let's get it. One of the foremost prophecies in the Bible speaks of nations rising against nations and kingdoms against kingdoms. A haunting echo of the past, this prophecy is tucked away in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7. It paints a picture of a world in turmoil, a world where peace is a fleeting dream and conflict a waking nightmare. Now let's unravel this prophecy. What does it truly signify? In simple terms, it suggests a time of great unrest, a period where alliances crumble and nations turn against each other. A time when world peace is disrupted and the potential for cataclysmic conflicts, similar to the devastating world wars of the 20th century, looms ominously. Now let's take a moment to look around. We find ourselves in a world that seems to be teetering on the edge, a world where tensions simmer just beneath the surface. From the forefronts in Iraq, Afghanistan, Ukraine, to now Israel's global attention, geopolitical rivalries and territorial disputes have set nations on a collision course. Power blocks are shifting, alliances are being made, and the drums of war echo in the distance. The stage seems set for a global drama, a spectacle of power and dominance that could easily spiral into a conflict akin to a Third World War. As we witness these events unfold, we cannot help but wonder, could this prophecy be a reflection of our current reality? Could this prophecy be unfolding before our very eyes? Scripture also warns us of global famines and the conditioning of societies for unconventional food sources. From the sun-scorched fields of Africa to the drought-ridden plains of Australia, food shortages are becoming a stark reality. The world's breadbaskets are emptying, and the global pantry is running thin, but humanity adapts, doesn't it? We've seen a surge in the acceptance of alternative food sources. Lab-grown meats, once a concept confined to the pages of science fiction, are now gracing our dining tables. And what about insects? These tiny creatures, rich in protein, are making their way into our diets, a trend that's gaining traction globally. These shifts in our eating habits aren't merely trends driven by culinary curiosity. They are born out of necessity, a response to the dwindling traditional food resources. We are being conditioned to accept these unconventional food sources. A chilling prophecy, isn't it? The Bible also foretells of catastrophic natural disasters. Becoming more frequent and intense as the final days approach, these prophecies have been a topic of intrigue and contemplation. The scriptures, in their wisdom, warn us about the earth shaking with major earthquakes along with fearful sights, and the land ravaged by large-scale wildfires. It also predicts record-breaking heat indexes that scorch our planet. Let's take a closer look into this unique book. The Gospel of Matthew specifically mentions earthquakes in diverse places as a sign of the end times. Now consider the daily news headlines. They're filled with reports of seismic activities occurring in regions where such events were once considered rare. From Turkey's recent 7.8 to Ecuador, Morocco, Nepal, Afghanistan, to the Philippines, earthquakes are indeed ramping up in diverse places. Next, picture the destructive power of hailstorms. The book of Revelation describes a severe storm where each hailstone weighs about 100 pounds. Strikingly, we have witnessed in recent years an increase in the intensity and frequency of hailstorms across the globe. Some of these storms have caused unprecedented damage, with hailstones reaching sizes that were once thought impossible. The Bible also speaks of wildfires. It illustrates a scenario where a third of the trees were burnt up. Today, we're seeing an alarming surge in large-scale wildfires from the Amazon rainforest to Hawaii, Canada, Europe, Asia, US and Africa, leaving behind a trail of devastation. Then there's the prophecy of record-breaking heat. Revelation tells us about a time when people will be scorched with great heat. With each passing year, we're observing rising global temperatures and record-breaking heat waves that are causing widespread droughts and water shortages. So, the question arises, are these mere coincidences or are biblical prophecies coming to life? As we grapple with this question, let's continue to explore more signs and prophecies that could potentially shed light on our present state and the future of our world. The Bible warns of an increase in wickedness, betrayal, hatred, and extreme sexual perversion. These aren't just words of caution, they're prophecies, warnings of societal shifts that are eerily resonant with our current times. Consider the moral landscape of our society today. Wickedness isn't just seen as tolerable but often celebrated. Betrayal has become a plot point in our favorite TV shows, a twist in the story that we've come to expect. Hatred, once condemned, is now a common theme in our political discourse on social media and even in our day-to-day interactions. And let's talk about sexual perversion. It's not about vilifying people's personal choices, but about acknowledging a noticeable shift in societal norms. What was once considered taboo is now mainstream, and what's concerning is the impact of this shift on our most vulnerable population, our children. Media platforms play a significant role in shaping the minds of our young ones. They're exposed to adult themes and explicit content at an age when they're still figuring out their basic math. It's hard not to see the parallels between these societal changes and the prophetic warnings about moral decay. So, I leave you with this. It's hard not to think we are the last generation witnessing this moral decay. It's a thought worth meditating on, comparing all the previous generations to our current modern age. The Bible also warns about a mark in the right hand or forehead. This phrase may seem like an excerpt from an ancient text, yet it resonates with our modern era in a rather uncanny manner. Let's consider the rise of digital currencies. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and their ilk have revolutionized our concept of money, creating a virtual realm where transactions are made with the flick of a finger. From buying a cup of coffee to purchasing a house, digital currencies are gradually becoming the norm. Now look through the lens of prophecy. Could these digital currencies be the forerunners of a society predicted in the Bible, where commerce is controlled by a mark, foreshadowing the realm of microchip implants? Here's food for thought. There are people today who have already embraced the convenience of a microchip implant in their hands. These tiny devices can store personal data, grant access to buildings, and even make payments. Again, connect this with the biblical prophecy of not being able to buy or sell without a mark in the right hand. It's not a mere coincidence. We are currently witnessing the unfolding of a prophetic script. Then, there's the matter of artificial intelligence, or AI. It's no longer a subject of science fiction, but a reality that's integrated into our daily lives. From predictive text on our smartphones to voice-activated virtual assistants, to this exact video you're listening to, AI has become a nearly invisible yet integral part of our existence. Now imagine a future where this AI is linked to our very bodies through a mark, controlling our transactions. It's not that far-fetched, is it? As we connect these dots, the picture that emerges is compelling. The rapid advancements in technology, the shifts in our monetary system, the integration of AI into our lives, all seem to echo the ancient warnings about the final generation. The lines between prophecy and reality seem to be fading, don't they? As we research our way through this, it becomes more evident when comparing today's current events to biblical prophecies that the Bible isn't just a dumb book after all. As we reflect on these prophecies, we must ask ourselves, how much more to realize we are in the end times? We've uncovered the chilling parallels between biblical predictions and our world's current state, from nations rising against nations to the prevalence of extreme immorality and wickedness. We've considered the harrowing reality of global famines and the conditioning of societies for unconventional food sources. We've examined the frequent occurrence of natural disasters such as earthquakes, wildfires, and catastrophic floods, echoing the biblical prophecies of end times. We've looked at the rise of global initiatives like Chris Lom, the push for a new world order, and the integration of artificial intelligence into our daily lives. All these eerily relaying biblical warnings about what to look for in the end times, the final generation. But perhaps the most significant of all these signs is clearly witnessing the stage being set for Daniel's 70th week. This prophetic timeline, as foretold in the book of Daniel, carries a profound significance for our generation. It represents the time of Jacob's trouble and the 7-year tribulation. As we see these prophecies manifesting in our world today, we are clearly the generation witnessing the fulfillment of these ancient predictions. As we conclude, we encourage you to deeply consider your eternal salvation and accept Jesus into your heart before it's too late. The signs are all around us, and Bible prophecies are rapidly fulfilling as we draw closer than ever to the final chapter, the book of Revelations.